to Parliament. In paragraph 158 of my budget speech on the 2019 budget statement economic policy, I announced on the floor of Parliament government's vision for the National Cathedral, as well as a commitment to facilitate the construction by providing the land, the secretariat, and seed money. This subject was part of the policy approval of the budget after the extensive debate. Subsequently, regular updates on the progress of the construction of the National Cathedral have been provided to Parliament and the nation. These include 2020 Budget Statement Economic Policy, paragraph 385, which announced the establishment of the Board of Trustees and Secretariat for the Cathedrals. Mid-year review of the 2020 Budget Statement, paragraph 279, which provided an update on the groundbreaking ceremony held on 5th March 2020 to mark the formal commencement of the construction phase of the project. 2021 Budget Statement Economic Policy, paragraphs 1132 and 1134, which informed the House of the letter of intent signed on 25th November 2020 between the National Cathedral of Ghana trustees and Ribad JV, led by Rizani, Babisoti and Sons and Desimoni, and also the appointment of Apostle Professor Opoku Nyina as new chairman of the Board of Trustees on 8 February 2021. Requirements. The National Cathedral is 100% owned by the state and is not the President's Cathedral as described by the proponents. Indeed, the Attorney General issued an opinion on 6 January 2022 that the National Cathedral is a state-owned company limited by guarantee under the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Honorable Co-Chairs, the policy direction and updates on the National Cathedral have been publicly presented over the years through the National Budget Statement and Economic Policy presented to Parliament. In paragraph 158 of my budget speech on the 2019 Budget Statement Economic Policy, I announced on the floor of Parliament government's vision for the National Cathedral, as well as a commitment to facilitate the construction by providing the land, the secretariat, and seed money. This subject was part of the policy approval of the budget after the extensive debate. Subsequently, regular updates on the progress of the construction of the National Cathedral have been provided to Parliament and the nation. These include 2020 Budget Statement Economic Policy, paragraph 385, which announced the establishment of the Board of Trustees and Secretariat for the Cathedrals. Mid-year review of the 2020 Budget Statement, paragraph 279, which provided an update on the groundbreaking ceremony held on 5th March 2020 to mark the formal commencement of the construction phase of the project. 2021 Budget Statement Economic Policy, paragraphs 1132 and 1134, which informed the House of the letter of intent signed on 25th November 2020 between the National Cathedral of Ghana trustees and Ribad JV, led by Rizani, Babisoti and Sons and Desimoni, and also the appointment of Apostle Professor Opoku Nyina as new chairman of the Board of Trustees on 8 February 2021. Requirements. The National Cathedral is 100% owned by the state and is not the President's Cathedral as described by the proponents. Indeed, the Attorney General issued an opinion on 6 January 2022 that the National Cathedral is a state-owned company limited by guarantee under the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Honorable Co-Chairs, the policy direction and updates on the National Cathedral have been publicly presented over the years through the National Budget Statement and Economic Policy presented to Parliament. In paragraph 158 of my budget speech on the 2019 Budget Statement Economic Policy, I announced on the floor of Parliament government's vision for the National Cathedral, as well as a commitment to facilitate the construction by providing the land, the secretariat, and seed money. This subject was part of the policy approval of the budget after the extensive debate. Subsequently, regular updates on the progress of the construction of the National Cathedral have been provided to Parliament and the nation. These include 2020 Budget Statement Economic Policy, paragraph 385, which announced the establishment of the Board of Trustees and Secretariat for the Cathedrals. Media review of the 2020 budget statement, paragraph 279, which provided an update on the groundbreaking ceremony held on 5th March 2020 to mark the formal commencement of the construction phase of the project. 2021 budget statement, economic policy, paragraphs 1132 and 1134, which informed the House of the letter of intent signed on 25th November 2020 between the National Cathedral of Ghana trustees and Ribad JV, led by Rizani, Babisoti, and Sons, and Desimoni, and also the appointment of Apostle Professor Opoku Nyina as new chairman of the Board of Trustees on 8 February 2021. Requirements. The National Cathedral is 100% owned by the state and is not the President's Cathedral as described by the proponents. Indeed, the Attorney General issued an opinion on 6 January 2022 that the National Cathedral is a state-owned company limited by guarantee under the Ghana. Mr. Co-Chair, that took me for a loop since I did not know what the President's Cathedral was. Honorable Co-Chairs, let me first submit that I'm uncomfortable about the formulation of this ground. It presupposes that Parliament is assuming the jurisdiction to enforce and or interpret a provision of the Constitution against the combined effect of Articles 2.1 and 131, which grants the sole and exclusive power to the Supreme Court. Nonetheless, I say with both humility and confidence that I have not breached the Constitution in making payments to support the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana.
Mr. Minister, Mr. Co-Chairman, clarify that I don't quite comprehend the point you make. The committee seems to be assuming what constitutional, assuming constitutional positions that you don't believe we're entitled to. There is an allegation that some monies have been withdrawn from the Constitution, from the Consolidated Fund. The point made by the proponents is that they believe that those monies were withdrawn unconstitutionally. We are not here to interpret any constitution, just simply asking you to respond to that allegation. Whether it is true or not, we have no clue. So if you challenge the constitutionality of it, let's hear your grounds in respect of that.
Mr. Co-Chair, let me then proceed to really talk about exactly what you have.
You may well do.
Honorable Co-Chairs, 3 days ago, when the proponents were here, they alleged I had made payments from the contingency fund to support the National Cathedral. I want to state that this is just not true. Let me be categorical. I have taken no money from the contingency fund to make payments for the National Cathedral. Mr. Co-Chair, that took me for a loop since I did not know what the President's Cathedral was. Honorable Co-Chairs, let me first submit that I'm uncomfortable about the formulation of this ground. It presupposes that Parliament is assuming the jurisdiction to enforce and or interpret a provision of the Constitution against the combined effect of Articles 2.1 and 131, which grants the sole and exclusive power to the Supreme Court. Nonetheless, I say with both humility and confidence that I have not breached the Constitution in making payments to support the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana.
Mr. Minister, Mr. Co-Chairman, clarify that I don't quite comprehend the point you make. The committee seems to be assuming what constitutional, assuming constitutional positions that you don't believe we're entitled to. There is an allegation that some monies have been withdrawn from the Constitution, from the Consolidated Fund. The point made by the proponents is that they believe that those monies were withdrawn unconstitutionally. We are not here to interpret any constitution, just simply asking you to respond to that allegation. Whether it is true or not, we have no clue. So if you challenge the constitutionality of it, let's hear your grounds in respect of that. And then we'll
Mr. Co-Chair, let me then proceed to really talk about exactly what you have.
You may well do.
Honorable Co-Chairs, 3 days ago, when the proponents were here, they alleged I had made payments from the contingency fund to support the National Cathedral. I want to state that this is just not true. Let me be categorical. I have taken no money from the contingency fund to make payments for the National Cathedral. Mr. Co-Chair, that took me for a loop since I did not know what the President's Cathedral was.
No.
Honorable Co-Chairs, let me first submit that I'm uncomfortable about the formulation of this ground. It presupposes that Parliament is assuming the jurisdiction to enforce and or interpret a provision of the Constitution against the combined effect of Articles 2(1) and 131, which grants the sole and exclusive
HL should be paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund. Here we are talking about the amount in excess of the 100 million United States dollars. It was the recommendation of PIAC that those proceeds should be paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund, as the committee is convinced that the proceeds form part of Ghana's petroleum revenues. The committee took a lot of things into consideration in arriving at this conclusion. Now, the portions of the Act that I referred to, Section 6 and the amended version of Section 7, they both indicate clearly that even revenues accruing to the Republic from the direct or indirect participation of the Republic shall first and foremost be paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund. Mr. Chairman, it is the considered view of the committee that it matters not that other issues may be introduced into the whole conversation. What matters for us, our understanding of the law, is that the PRMA is the primary law that governs the utilization, management of petroleum revenues. And it says that any revenue accruing to the state, whether directly or indirectly, should first be paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund. Mr. Chairman, we also know that GNPC is the primary commercial arm of the Republic of Ghana in petroleum activities. And so when this happens, we are dealing with GNPC per se. If you look at the whole JOHL transaction, it is GNPC that undertook those transactions. So our position as a committee, Mr. Chairman, is that that lifting, whether it is lifted by 100% subsidiary of GNPC or not, ought to come first into the Petroleum Holding Fund, from where disbursements can be made for whatever reason. So, Mr. Chairman, our position on that matter is clear.
On every single item, I can challenge you today. Next week Friday, by the grace of God, we'll be here. Come and show me one of our key imports
that has declined.
That 1D1F.
Yeah. That has declined.
Yes, or as a result of 1D1F. Just one.
But you see,
not one.
No. We'll get you the data, because all the factories that are there and working, they cannot be working for nothing. Unless you want to say the factories are not there. The factories are there.
I'm clear in my question. I said, look, next week Friday, just come show us one of our key imports that has been positively affected by 1D1F.
But
just one.
You are saying none of them has been impacted.
Yes, so I want you to demonstrate just one to me.
Now, ahead of that, look, we have an ID1F factory processing watermelon at Wali Wali. It's employed 300 people in Wali Wali. As we speak, call your people in Wali Wali. They will tell you that there's a factory there.
I've not said that there's no factory at Wali Wali.
I think this one.
The question I asked you is clear.
Okay, but give it to me. Let me go through. Look, in Nasia, there's a rice processing facility. It's employed 148 people.
I have not said that there's no rice factory there.
At least it's employed 148.
And there was a rice factory before what you are talking about.
Yes.
In this same country.
Yes.
Yes.
And
so I'm saying that it's not a quantitative argument. But it's not about 200 factories or 150 factories.
Okay. But you know,
if it is an import substitution strategy, how has it impacted?
It's also an employment strategy. It's also a revenue generation strategy. Because all of these 300 people in Wali Wali, these 148 people in the Nasia, these 180 people in Saveligo in the rice processing, these tomato processing in Domfete, which has employed 150. They would not be employed if those factories were not there. So it's an import substitution, it's an employment strategy.
Every government, Nana. But you know, every government builds factories.
All of us.
All those factories employ people.
Please.
If we gave Okujeto the opportunity, he will list factories under their government. The people they employ.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isufu Mahama Mashoud. I am the communication officer for the NDC in the Wali Wali constituency. Why am I here today? As you can see behind me, this is a signpost of a salt cutting for the Wali Wali watermelon factory, which happened on the 16th of December 2019. Yesterday, Nana Akomia on Metro TV Good Morning Ghana show said the factory had completed and of course had employed 300 people working in it. Let's get inside there and see the reality for ourselves. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, this is the entrance of the Wali Wali watermelon factory, and as Nana Akomia claimed, let's get inside and of course I can sell you some watermelon. Come on, follow me. If you can look around, I believe the 300 people Nana Akomia was talking about are these grasses that we are seeing. This facility has been abandoned. There's no work going on here. For me to prove you further, let's get to it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, these are chickens, abandoned chickens of the contractor, and you can see some river sand also lying there. The contractor has abandoned sites. There's no work even going on here, talk less of production. So I want to walk you through, the entrance of the facility. so that you can see. So this is Abanda River Plant, left here by the contractor. And I believe it's the same reason which is that there's no money for any contractor to work. That is why the government has a deficit when it comes to infrastructure as compared to the NDC. So this is the entrance to the supposed completed watermelon factory. And Nana Akunia said this factory has begun processing and that 300 Ghanaians were working in here. The question that keeps disturbing me is why is it that all the time the NPP are bent on putting out force to the Ghanaian public, because the evidence on the ground actually indicates that what Nana Akunia said isn't true. I was so worried listening to him and hearing him say that 300 Ghanaians were working. I want us to now get inside the factory so we can see the reality and know what is this actually something going on. So you can see there are no ceilings. The ceiling works on this project has not even completed. So the doors, the fittings of doors have not been provided. And if I walk in more, you see that there's more evidence of the project being abandoned. How can a watermelon factory produce juice when electrical installations are not done? There's no wiring of any sign there's no sign of any wiring being done in this facility. Yes, Nana Akunia tells us that processing has begun. So let's continue to move around. These are what called wood that has been abandoned for and one would wonder, a project that was supposed to actually, one would wonder, a project that was actually supposed to be completed within a 12-month calendar. From 2019 till date, this project is still standing here. And instead of the NPP telling Ghanaians the truth, all they do is peddling falsehoods and making claims that are not justified. And this is the evidence. Anyone with any counter-proof can bring it on. But this is the Waliwali watermelon factory that Nana Akunia spoke about. There is nothing like processing of watermelon going on here, and there is nothing like workers being employed numbering 300 Ghanaians. I also want to let you understand that this the stallment of this factory is affecting a lot of farmers. A lot of people that are into watermelon farming are actually suffering because their produce.
Hello. Yeah, good evening. Ciao, baby, I will be ciao. And you may Mira who be brave. Aye, Mira who be brave. And then no menche. Yes. But patrol team in car, patrol mami who said what in car. The sound no. Aye, okay. All right. And then me how back ketwebi. Na maybe the and come in too much because a kind munti mechia womwa omo so omo hwe sese na afin yankwa enim em tell her em shira and one mama do usually always no o mame enya vim no na maye kama na me da baso so na de anko ye na de anko ye kura maye basa na mamenchia madofo wi na menka nkwasiafo ye omutimechi menka omo asemi enchiro nkwasiafo yi omo otimechi no menka asemi enchiro sisia na menchiro. All right, so Gift Newman mehu ha, Pauline Bridget appear mehu ha, Card mehu ha, James Ametepe mehu ha, Aretha Okwe mehu ha, Bridget Alice Edu uwa ha, Matada Hiagbo ewa ha, Tango Alidu ewa ha, Adema Rasta ewa ha, Linda Ofosu is also here. Yes, Linda Ofosu, there was a problem with the TV earlier on, so Kevin Taylor himself could not, I think, do most of his shows on it. I mean, in the beginning it was, but after a while the TV went off. So today we are doing it on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm sorry about that. All right. ASP Franklin Natty. Good. ASP, we're going to have a brief talk. So you can send me what you have, and then I will call you right away when I'm ready. Thank you. All right. Brighter Boachi, Charlotte Du is here. Matada Hiangbo Agide Saforo continues. Good work. But it seems Ghana is sitting on mushrooms too. God save us from this tyrant. Franklinette said the sound is okay. Thank you, my papa. Okay, so Pauline Picture President, welcome Machine Gun Picture. Thank you very much. Natural Express, good evening, Saforo TV, good vibes. Thank you, Natural Express. Tina Votia, good evening. How are you doing? Monica Daco, Tina Votia says, God bless you for your good work. Thank you, Tina. Linda Ofosu, good evening. How do you call it? Suleiman Hassan is here. Suleiman Hassan. Elom Teria. I salute Saforo. Saforo, I salute you too. Elom, I wanted you to call me. All right, so call me. Della Abdallah and Solomon N.A. Ayite. All right, so these are the few beautiful people that we have here. Yes, I think I've mentioned everybody's name, and we need to move on. Yakoye nim na yahwedi betumi aye. Na me nhira mu nyina no mpagya mu no nya mu nyina so kese. Ani de ekọ nyina. All right, so enumere problem no say oh machi. Ene de minya ka medidi atam nko a. Ene minya ka medidi atam nko a because oman baby oman edu no enka me apese enka yebetumi asalensi ye ho kakra for a while, but it looks like anytime we try to be quiet and be nice, it is never so. Something comes up. Foolish people do things. Now, Oma say any pakuma any yakika home. Na the person be changing yana say Oforiata aye onipebia. Hwenanim ehene hwene. Akrobeto kuramba akrobeto ono kura omba na yaka mudi nyeme edi agro ene hwebe bia yedu. Oh, me catch you say these people don't know what they are doing or what they are about to. They are just trying something and they don't want to accept the fact that they're enkoye. And I mean professional. What I say, they don't want to accept the fact that what you're doing is not working, and so they have to be able to come up with a different plan, and that also is not coming. Into some way, one penny for MTTH, woman on mere Ghana ahemfo. With the Francis Ankrofo way, and yena hemfo your multimechi ya, or multitude to Montuma for eba by Pesica Ghana Sika edia. Messre, Monka be binchrom. Messi, one Jimmy or my bosom. I abosom no motete no konye no motete so na nkwa na nkuo mu eti omu na nsei no wo mu nipa bonesem no mu jimi no mu nkwase asem a wo mu di wo Ghana ha oman emu mpanifo edi nkosasem a wo mu ntumi nkasa because wo mu ye MPP affiliated no my omadwen say sika no mbedi na no mo betena ho say ye increase mo percentage e wo fere say royalties emamo kwasiafo Ghana ye modia. What are you doing for your nation? Maybe I'm villages and now then I'm going to here. No matter talk to Mark Kessie, Namusiho, Namu Jimmy. I have a crepe the one yansa, will to me at Snassi, to me a boom my a brown was a young my ye. And Quasiafo say, their friend moment to my betnassi, moon to me voice out. She'll be she papa way, ultimately. All this actually kuku shedding crampai a come the dinner she tini ne muma we mu nya sala nku sesa mo Ghana sika nya sesa dia mo no mu titim no mo de pema we mu ba ku kra ni mo wa adwen papa we mu we ama for yire mu no mo fa we mu amanfo yire mu no mo fa wo mu de musika na MPP mo mu no amanfo yire no mo de fa. They will take your wife, they don't care. I don't know business, they don't give a heck. Which I say, and they will do whatever it takes to run you down. And for the whole, what didn't draw, not dream, not say, why kwasi ampenyi, why dead body no the tia kunyane so, sebe, ne bema cry or little question cry, so I say work at home. But in your chino, or no be friend who say, oh, you okay? Yes, or no be friend who say, oh, you okay? Enti moment tia semo san krofo we o ya hemfu kwa to me kasa yie e wo man no me hu se wo mo tie o man chi they are setting up and making sure that the people don't perish and can make catch your man yi we mu nyom ye kwasiafo wo mu kuro mu na sebe yesu tu galam say wo ma betra say yes ye increase o mo royalties ne efa mo kwasia no na tontoma no de pema hotels upon hotels e jimi sem na ne crofort no mo bre mi kro mu hene kora saa wasi dan obi manso ni kro otim no ontumi si dan wo ni kro otim no onu ni kro otim no ontumi si dan wo e got ase enti no ni ma me dan a wasi no otim ni ma me dan a wasi no e no otim got ase e no otim e no ba ko si dan oba fufuro obi a wo sebe wo ye ohene a wo so do okuro wo ko si dan oba bi kwasiafo agimifo mwa me wa hini ma hinfo wo mu di omhu ni pa mo ta se a mo dwini omo man ho omo nyansa mwa wa betra se yenkisi mu royalties mamo mwa da be na mo sori kasa ma Ghana fo mu kura mo titim ebiri mu nya nsuonum ebiri mu nya ayindi mo betra se na matutu mutuma nkurase fo hwe nkonya mo tete so aboa na do kwa oba mo fia na ode mo nkonya ba mo ba mo nkonya ba mwa na edi totofi wa sisi wa bo tete so no asiafo matena konya so mwa agimifo mo ka ho na man na ye basa no mwa agimifo we are going to rise up against you people because muna proye ni free mo because mo to be trust ka say yempre emo bia metu ganam say wo ha na bia mbedi nkosa se bo ha enkano no de munimu ya ni pekum rituals ye mihia shwa mihia nufuo mihia tekrema mihia ensatia enkwasiasem se ya na mudi wo man mu na mo mudi prep nipa de bre o man ase na maboso no mo tete o wu maboso no mo tete o wu mwa ma betrase ye increase mo ye mekese mu ni mo se na mamo what Baba Trase, oh, I asked myself a few questions. Say, ka omanu nyansafo wo mu a, enka ye nu say you. We spoke about this thing. Parliament pushed this stupid finance minister through it to become a finance minister. The second time, you could have removed him. You knew everything. You didn't remove him. Now this is a steely moment. After we are, oh, we into young uncle crowd or see uncle. Oh, we no yes you uncle no or see uncle. Wakafa lawyer be defending no. Not yesika so. Yes ko yempel wo ha on sen. O se me nko. Gienti. Bibinti sika no onye ndi wie omunya wie. Yeah. Omu wie ya de be wie rekoto private jet. No matu be dwane free kroma. Michigan for mema. Youth, let me tell you something. At election time, all the borders must be guarded. There should be guys at the borders. There should be guys at the borders. Togo border, Benin border, Benin Biara border. Wa kwasiafo betu janya famu. Guard that place. Yes, guard that place. Now there. Sebi, Miriam Mahama, Bra, now your bar. Let us not see you prosecuting these people. Let us not see you prosecuting these people. I'll be the first person to start hitting you from the bottoms. All these chiefs and kings that have been installed, that are wrongfully installed, must be removed. Whether they have been how do you call it, gazetized or whatever. Yomu a police for, a soldier for immigration. Obi be a good for the nation, be a unifrim. A soldier for penny for what to wa. What was share a omian hang and Magana. You need to remove all of them to proceed. And Kosasemo went Diwo Ghana. Master, you're not joking though. We will guard all the exit points. Move back to Ghana. You people, you will stay in Ghana after election handover. You will stay in Ghana. If you travel and go and stay anywhere, we will make noise. We will travel to your embassies. We will travel to the UKs, the Frances, everywhere, and make allegations over you people. You will be brought down. Nala Sanala, I swear to God. Muka se diagro. Muka se diagro. Muka se diagro. You bet you anybody how wild we have become. You have treated us like dogs. Whoa. Na mudi ashe cage mu. And I'm not caging. And I'm more fear crashing assistant. Na komu ding. And I'm more jimony. Me say, Mopa, Muntu Kwine, the Baba Shemo. We have a lot of citizens around the world. We will look for you. Hey, we will look for you. Numo, yes, Numo into Mua, Obetumuntuma. Mo, the Betchemunyasa mo will teach you sense. Penifo me Jimmy Munim Yansa, Mutu Chroma, Mwasam Kwana Mudi, what to Tuntuma, and all about Trasino, what Bokura, was a Oya wine. You think we are joking? Check. Yesterday, the end Trassi, and Mamun Jimmy Enchrayen, Debbie, the end Trassi. Mamun Jimmy Chrayen, Yabre, and ne, Chedia Coso, Chedia Ecoso, Chedia Coso, or mem, and penny fu, a muti member Musamuya himfo, Muticha Bosumso, and a money near go a bosom upon Pemna Bosum to me, a hay, and a moon Jimmy Munjiminko, Sada, we are sitting here, Sa, and Unti. And a mama bae, na munye de bupentino, mukutia, no kutia, and MPP has nothing to show for. Nothing. Lies. Atro sem, and MPP, and the busa mai, and tro, and work a sene munketwa, and mu jom kodin. Uja say, and tro mu jom kodin, and tro mu Tasmania, and a man chasa, the demonim sa. And Kwasafu eti to be country say you are misrunning the country. And then you have become a public ridicule. You become a public ridicule. Everybody is laughing at you. Now we must rise up and take our money from them. Master, I'm telling you people, we know your houses. We will also do things that you will know, say, and correct. Ghanaians, you need break, you need tea. And to put the Munkoso. Me say Munkoso. In Sawam, Adwajiri into Asunya Denira. Me say ahimfo and Kwasia Semo Mudi wo, ahimfo Kwasia Semo Mudi wo. Sa ohino ti eyi hono. Ebua kwa hene oti wono enkwasya se meda ewudie a papa no odi wo krom mu a wasoma me bekum boys bi wo krom ho because they are protecting their own land. Oti hene or the Bokwa hene is sitting over at that Achim area fighting for lands in Nsawam, fighting for lands in Adwajiri and all those places, trying to claim lands that they belong to their great-great-grandfathers, and so they are claiming their share. And unti emrantia womo boss ase no ho ban no womo muamu na womo afa omo nkrofo e no mo hye omo atade And omo shoot 2 boys omo wie na to omo so omo ya armed robbers. That's why I always tell the youth, say, to be sorry, learn how to shoot, learn how to buy your own weapon, register it legally, own it, so that when you are working with it, you don't have any problem. So that if a fool comes with his chest, you can put a few knuckles into his chest. What I say? Aha. And you know, this is the time, youth, rise up, get trained, know how to fire, know how to protect yourself, know how to defend yourself. Issa Kaba must come back. Issa Kaba must be in Ghana. Issa Kaba. Na mon ti Issa Kaba group ni bi. Na mon mbo adwuma, mon clean the country no. You need to clean and pacify the country with these stupid people. Because Oma dinyama, Oma ya nyama, boni, egu Ghana fo ni mo ase. Ene, mitumi po ntre bebe nkasa me Ghana ni. Because we have a president that takes the private jet and then put women in there, sleep with them, and give them a ride with the plane as if it's a taxi. You think we are joking? Master, Issa Kaba must come back. Issa Kaba must be in Ghana. Poni afu womu no, a omumbu Ghana, omudi Ghana din kwasasem no, mesi Issa Kaba must come back to Ghana. Master, if I say Germans go win the war, I beg, my mouth no be Ghana. My mouth no be Ghana. So I say German for be winning match na be winning war na. And I say Ukrainians be winning war na. Manu enye tuo. Jimina doso. Jimina doso. And then when people refuse to understand that NDC did a lot of things, infrastructure, and made sure say, and then Ghana for better, and so Kwasiampe better so or so on pre, and then asegleme, also woton, you want to wipe away the man's legacy because you think you are hey, Ekufado, me say wo, one madama, echa, and a bayo every 5 minutes of your life. Echa. Echa. So, Echa, and a bayo. We are tired. We are tired. And I ask myself, say, there were IMF, there were World Bank, we have America, we have Europe, we have France, and all these countries who actually give us money, looking at these things to happen. And then when these fools rise up and go and look for money, you give it to them. Namo brokagum, namo tegum, namo brokagum, namo tegum, namo brokagum, namo tegum, and penny morning kwasia for Jimmy for moi. We are boa, was second so ya boa. We are Yansania, Yanfre wa boa, what Jimmya, Yanfre Yansani. We are tired now, Ekufado. You are a useless man. You don't deserve to be called a president. As a glimmer, Obiesiho, police phone bebida, turn that place into a camp. Fool, Kwasia, Abua, Jimmy Four, turn that place into a camp. Police and military, make that place a camp. How much is it going to take you to renovate that place or put that place in shape? Kwasia Gaubayano, Udimpa, fridges, TVs, Bibiabu bomb for military, for the police. No moment now, so they can have a good time in working for Ghana. Woton, woton, wo dear, me say, wo, me say, go for no multi party, no, or mono meku. Go for no multi party, Nima also MPP party. Womudin kwasha semono mesi wo mo no be poison wo because wo mo say wankasa wo you useless who say party no. Now me I'm being real. I'm saying this because Masuda ye Yes, and I'm telling you this, Masudaye, when I had a dream, Ekufuado was dead. The cancer, Echremo. Ye kansam chiremu, ye kachiremu, ye kaye kachiremu say Ghana foi, munya careful na ejapa deal any nyamanyama the looting nyama amu yeso be looting a document about out ebeti te say nya ye kachiremu Ghana for say this is what Ekufuado wants to do and you people refuse to understand and to believe. To you, every truth is politics and every lie is good. Enti ye catch them say Ekufuado no the opposite ye say obese o ripping Ghana off. No more no more running Ghana on their own, even though they are not in presidency, they want to run Ghana. Ye catch them. And yes, I'm brainer. Sa ebuakwa hene no what on one task force omudi kwasiasem. Want to me at or tax force some create tour woman a man for the war grounds in Ghana. And what stops the actual youth to also get a gun and protect himself? Say moon sorry enji musika say maka chire mu de bia ka chire mu say ye bebre baby bebra hye bi de bia ka sasem ni chire mu ye mu de eni baby ye pe bia meta me passport a ye ni manim ye ni mensa ye ni me hwene ye ni mano o cha say enti baby pese me ko bia betimi akọ pese me ko tra UK meko pese me ko tra Britain meko Jani Britain me ko tra Europe baby meko pese me betina America meba me yan visa. Maybe I'm going to call without visa, and I will be treated very well because of who I am. Yet, Chiremo say, Jimiena Bano Dorso, into Munya Jimian, so in Jan also, and then France for say, if I very few chronoso, or most this is a cook or more minister back, this is what must happen in this our country to let these people know that you're near break. Yeah, me and say. The foreign emissaries, they will look for their assailants and punish them. But the point is that we are tired of the behavior of our leaders. We are tired of the way our leaders behave. We are tired of the way they are ripping us off. We are tired of the way they are oppressing us. We are tired of the way they are stealing our money. We are tired of the way they are making more bills upon our heads. The way they are piling bills for our great-grandchildren at this moment to make themselves rich. Kasi Diagro, and the Isinu. In Ekufuado, he can die any moment. When he die, who are you taking to court? If Ekufuado dies, who are we taking to court? Tell me. Ghana nye bebia yachi president da. And until the bia ye jimino because Parliament has written how do you call it? A law that prevents a parliamentarian to be prosecuted and preventing a president to be prosecuted at a certain length of time. Ebenna we mumun jimi. Ebenna mumun jimi. Those laws must be repealed and removed. If you're president and you fool, you must be in jail. Even South Africa, they put their own president in jail. Ya Jimmy in Kwasiafo Jimmy for ya jiri nyina nkoye ya Jimmy dokunu na esam aye trimu ma ahemfu nyina dokunu esam dokunu esam aye trimu ma Jimmy aklado as a gotamu no I say team. You know how the country is going, yet you refuse to talk because of what you're going to get. Unyame, to me, entram no nkukum nya mako tonda bobia ohini baako wu tonda mo na ahemfo wu empapa butirim abosom ate so bote ase a wo kokotra ko di asem a panyan na botirim na wotima bia mienu na bonim guasai bebre kwasia next time wo da ho na esie wu a na di ade ahwoti na ye tomato da ho aboa na wotirim bon kan na obi entumi mmew next time wo hwa na wapi hu tonda empapa butirim mako I'm still waiting when abosom any ahohom e wo Ghana ehwe sa nkwasiafo se wo mu ye sa niema we na abosom se ye tiase ahohom se ye tiase bremu uti ho ya ye wusuo poto wo ye bosom ye di efere say sanai na de gu wusuo mu uti ho densu ati ho enimo ye kokokokoko densu una yet abosom nyina mu abrafo wuti ho ya se wusuo poto wuti ho ye den unya bosom uni to me unim dia ye mo esa bayifu a muko winam ni ye chimu a na mu de nam dia ko mabosom meko Kenya me hu ade be se me ye emere bi atwam se bo kai ayi mama bi a orani bees ne bosom no ye bees uwi ade na ebisa no wanka na bees na baba bo no masoso onsa no mo de wakoba bia o so kaka na kure no e wo se me kopesa ehuhu ni bi so ho na empanyifo no mo tete ho no mo agibigimi no wo ye pe meti udin kabite na nya bo odin de udin ba Faris squad pe na ma mark wo ma sma bosom na de chie ma sma bosom no wo da no pa wo no yire da wie unware kura wo upia no pa wo ba be ye wo ho ayesem na bees na buru wani maku ato pain we hear my friend mo yes you na ye next me ko Kenya sa video no me hwehwe sa video no konfo bi na owo sa bees to me no etu wi ade na bisa no anka no asoma bees no wo wi ade be ka no kore sa ahimfu we mu sa bees no say yesuma de mo Ghana, we need to rise up. Somebody is sorry. Somebody is serious. It's about time that we must to do things to let these people know say any break. Because we want to know ome din diabodro no motete ono. Ome din diabodro because onya oyire a obefa. Enti we din diabodro onya oyire a obefa. Enti ome din diabodro se be bon dua nya no. Because onye djuma bia otewo so hene ekufo be brand Land Cruiser ekufo be manisika obetra se ya kwasea ohene mua wo ba won fa okonya amba ekufo do be bai onakonya ba be simonim na mo meja mo nkonya wo fie na mo betenta nkonya pion so mo so na mo se mo ya ahemfo bo tutu nkonya sika kakra mbunya tinti mua so omuntu bam kan muntu bam kan amra beti ho asiafo jimifo guys ene medwa pa medwa in 10 minutes the phone lines are going to be on. You can call if you want to. Otherwise, I'll shut the phone lines off and go to bed myself. I'm tired. Or mine say, or my repair mine off to make themselves rich to the extent that also the free to know info before me finance also sorry because chrono no nyambo wie 6 years of chrono enyando chrono ye onyando so onya he wants more. Also, when GP, you are working for Ghana free of charge. okay ko edwuma na wo ye no eda wase wa ya ades unji pay ko no be from bra osibenko
bem wakaso buy one district one dam
ɛne ne wayɛ no
we
road ko brofo kase mo kan say
Red Sea factories
ɔde me bunya for Ghana for 8 months for
Benado
on fushi
Amango Salo Mosora na na do nya she
ɔnya hwe bɛn
wakaso buy one district one dam
ɛne ne wayɛ no
we
road ko brofo kase mo kan say
Red Sea factories
ɔde me bunya for Ghana for 8 months for
Benado
on fushi
Amango Salo.
Hello.
Hello.
ASP.
Good evening. Yes, sir.
I salute you.
Ika.
Yesterday, I wanted you to explain a few things to us, but
Okay.
we couldn't get you. And I know the reason why we couldn't get you. But
Yes, sir.
today you are very welcome on Wrap Up.
Thank you.
How is the weather going?
Oh, by His grace, we are fine. And you may. In fact, machine gun preacher. We don't have to blame Ken Ofori-Atta. Emra, the second parliament, they know all this for 4 years. The man was doing the over borrowing through data bank and all that. They know, but as a minister, no, they know. And next time we want to take him off. And this never say we are serious because you had the opportunity to refuse him being a minister the second time. What you say? Any niawu can some of us are a bit privileged. Say baby ayetino ye wukura on be sie yen kon won di yen ye busuafo am Ghana kakra yenya ye be chema. But we want our country to be better than it is. And you know, media manfa subona ambo Ken Ofori-Atta o enye onwa na edi ni hu ye minister o. He was only appointed, but some people have to approve him. Soundgraph ena omudimi omudi ehwambo na mesre Owura Mahama say senyame manokwan na oba biomwa no MP should be given 4x4 any krobiasu in the developed countries. No MP is given money or given car at the detriment of the people. So who say me person me MP now nika would be called parliamentar. Go and take loan from commercial banks, like how the policeman, the teacher, the nurse, they all take loan to buy their cars. And in this ready, I mean, to Owura Mahama, and you say, Yami and Adum no baby, you want. On share say, on for Ghana Sika, and to 4x4 my MPBR. Midasi, Assembly or Minia.
There was a maybe now my first question Mr. Bissau to say Ayabia, is there a way John Dramani Mahama can remove all these bad police, or let me not say bad police, these hoodlums recruited into the police system? Is there any way Mahama can have the power to remove all of them?
There is no record that people enlisted into the army or the police have been tagged with NPP. So all that we will do, you see, the difference is not wrong if you make an NPP man a soldier or an NDC man a soldier. It's not wrong. But what is wrong is those people, based on their political colors, they do not obey the rules in the services. So what the service commanders must do is to make sure that the rules in the services are obeyed, so that anybody who misbehaves will go through service inquiry, and if he is supposed to be dismissed, is dismissed. That one, the president cannot do anything. It's now an obligation on the service commanders to ensure discipline works in the army, the police, the fire service, the immigration. All those people must ensure that the rules governing the engagement, rules of engagement of the services are followed to the letter. And that if anybody is saying that any government there also, because of that I can misbehave, that person, because the services know nothing about who brought you in. Yours is to obey and respect the citizens. You are to serve the citizens. You are not a boss over them. The same applies to the president. The president is a servant. He came pleading that Muso Michel is just like people going for enlistment. You saw it on this thing last year when they were having enlistment. The people were begging. They were in a queue, begging to be employed. Now, if you are employed and you make yourself a boss, when people come to the charge office to complain, you start insulting them. These are the things I hold policemen on. You lie, you can't do it in my presence. We need to respect the people whose tax money is taking care of us. So I think the question to ask, the answer will lie on the service commanders to ensure there is discipline. The difference between the good policeman and the party policeman is that the party policemen don't respect the rules of engagement. And if they are identified, they should face the consequences of service inquiry trials. And if they are not able to prove their case, they are dismissed, they are reduced in rank, or whatever will be done, so their morale goes low, they themselves will walk out of the service, fine. So that's me, that's it, my brother.
So, Mr. ASP, we are not done with you yet. My problem is that 2020 election, we saw armed policemen that, held gun to people who are election, workers. They put guns to them, they manipulated them, they fight, they scared them, and all that. So, in our constitution, or even in our normal life, how do the civilians deal with such a behavior? Say, so the need, and our police need be what you do, will be so, or say, for mammy, and I sign, and I'll be better, and I can't about the winnie abano. I feel yabefa abano, you call ya by ya, you see abano, yes, I can't be no, and you're not winnie, or be no winnie, yeah, the court, now, yes, who's I will want ya jab will be. How should the civilians in the legal way deal with such an issue before all these things happen?
It will be difficult for the civilians to deal with it in a legal way because you see all this is political manipulation. No well-meaning, in fact, there were police officers and army officers. If you see that video at the Timan area, you will see that there were people who were not happy about it. Even some of the military officers behind were shouting on them to stop the firing. If you study the video very well. So you will see, as I said earlier, the political members or in these services do not obey rules and regulations. In fact, the army headquarters could make those people out. One thing that is difficult is when a policeman misbehaves, it's very easy to identify the policeman because police don't normally shield their wrongdoers. But the army is difficult for you to fish out the person. So in this case, a right-meaning military commander must have investigated because there were some army men who were not happy with what was happening. So they would have fished out the person for the proper thing to be done. If we want the civilians to take the law into their hands and fight them, they are with empty hand. They are with their empty hand, and then the other people The other people are with arms. So it is difficult. It is difficult to, in a way, deal with them as civilians. So, in fact, my brother, the best way is to call upon the police commanders, the army commanders, to ensure there is discipline, so that when these things happen, they will be able to identify the hoodlums among them, so that they will be dealt with appropriately. That is the best way, because we will have more of fatalities if we continue to. We'll have more of fatalities if we want them to engage them with empty hands.
So, ASP, yesterday, the main reason why I was trying to get to you was there was a lady that was arrested for insulting the president. No, actually, he wished the president dead. That he wished the president is dead. And I was told it was in the news that that woman was arrested, but now has been released on no charges. So if she was arrested on no charges, why did they arrest her in the first place, and for what reason? And what reason? Why did they release her without a charge?
All right. One, insulting behavior or threats or whatever it is an offense in our criminal law. So if even anybody sits somewhere and say President Akufo-Addo or Kwasia, if President Akufo-Addo make a complaint to the police, that person will be arrested. Even me, ordinary person here, if you insult me that me abua, I will make the police aware to arrest you, because insulting behavior, even though misdemeanor, is a criminal offense. Why? Because if I say uyabua, now who can say me abua, na it turns into fight. What happens is it turns into something we call an act tending to disturb the peace of the public. So yes, that person will need to be arrested. But the question is, before she was arrested, did Akufo-Addo make any complaint against her? You see, because he was a president. Let's go back to Atamil's time when people were insulting the president, Professor J.A. Mills. Kweku Baako came to write, and it's a media report you can search for, that is insulting the president a crime. Kweku Baako knows that insulting behavior is wrong. But at that time, he came to print out. It was a print media that is insulting the president now a crime. Now, is insulting Akufo-Addo now a crime? If I want to go by Kweku Baako's, what do you call it, thoughts and thinking. So, one thing we should be aware of is, one, there should be a complaint against that woman by Akufo-Addo or his children. Then the woman can be arrested. Now, if nobody but the police, because they want to prove to Akufo-Addo that they are working, so somebody say, if Akufo-Addo die, I like it. And that reason, me see, the father, she spoke it. Now, my brother, for a crime to qualify to be a crime, there must be intention and there must be act. We call it mens rea and actus reum. Those two things should be present for a crime to be crime. So the fact that somebody said, I wish Akufo-Addo is dead, what is the act? If you have the intention and you don't do the act, it's never a crime. So you cannot be arrested for that. And the only thing that qualifies when there is no intention, we call it strict liability crime, like driving and knocking down a person. You might not thought of it in the house, but the action happened. That one called it strict liability crime. That one, yes, you can be arrested, though you don't have the intention. But when it comes to other things like this, the woman wishing Akufo-Addo die is not a crime. So the police arresting him is just a bravado to show that, oh, we are waiting for Akufo-Addo. That is why they released the woman without a charge. And it will continue like that. They will continue to arrest and release people without a charge because they are working politically. Those people who went for the arrest. I don't mean the police administration. It might be the hoodlums.
So in this case, can somebody press charges against these people?
Yes. Somebody can take a civil case against them for harassing the woman. Yes. Anybody who feels that he has enough evidence to prove what the woman went through, the person can take a civil case against the person, because if you arrest someone on a criminal matter and you don't charge the person, it means you have no ground. And therefore, someone can take that action in civil matter.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Now, another point that people have been asking me about. So, since we're going to be starting our program from Monday going,
yeah.
Somebody asked me to ask you this question. Some of the policemen in Ghana, when they arrest you, they say park, then they jump into the front seat. Some will also pull your key out and they leave you and go away. What is the standard procedure of a police officer who is practicing the law and arresting somebody who is wrong? Must they jump into the front seat? Must they pull your key out? Must they seize your driver's license and go away and tell you later, I can't find it? And all that kind of thing. Must they take your license and give you a cheat?
All right. The police administration has been fighting this menace. The police administration has never approved for MTTD members or personnel to jump into cars, hang on the cars, collect a driver's license and say, I seize it or that. No. Now, the SOP is this. If a driver commits a crime and the driver is not a regular driver on that road, you can take the driver's particulars, then you give him a cheat that the driver should come back to court, and that cheat, whatever the driver shows it to other policemen, they know that the driver is wanted in a court to appear in a court somewhere. If the driver is not having his license, you can give him 24 hours to produce his license. You don't have any right to jump into a car. You don't have any right to shout on the driver. You don't have any right to seize his particulars without giving him a cheat. Now, the particulars will definitely let the driver come back. Sometimes if the driver's license is not there, we do take even the insurance papers, but we will give a cheat that anyone who wants this insurance paper, call this number in case of any need. And then 24 hours, the driver has to appear before court and answer whatever charge it is. It is a wrong deed. And the police administration has been fighting this all along. They've been punishing policemen who are doing that. I remember I even had a service inquiry of a policeman who insulted some passengers in a car, and they reported him to the PIPS. By then, the Police Intelligence and Professional Standard. Now, PPSB is a different unit now. So, in fact, the police administration is against those awful acts. And I must not sit here and lie. Every now and then, they are fighting them. But the problem is, you see, when you recruit people who are not ready to learn, people who are not ready to go by the rules, that is what happens. If you arrest, if you enlisted educated people who understand your operational standards at training, they will not go on the field and do a different thing. But you go and employ people who maybe the instructors who teach them cannot even try speaking Twi like me. As I told you before, in 2008 and 9, the people President Kufuor and then his people brought in, we used Twi to teach them. Asamoah Gwatin's people from Central Region, we used Twi to teach them at the training school. How do I explain the law in Twi all the time? But that's how we did it. So that is it. We have some people in the service who are giving headache to the IGP and his people. And those people, the police will be happy if you report them as a driver. they will take the person on.
So what you are saying is that it is okay for the police to maybe take your insurance particulars, not your driver's license.
No, I said they can take your driver's license and give you a cheat.
Okay.
For instance, I am standing at Sohum roundabout. A driver commits an offense and is going to Accra. I'll take his license, give him a cheat, and give him the date to return and then go to court. For instance, tomorrow I'm arresting you today to go and drop the people. Prepare yourself, come to court tomorrow in Sohum. That is the jurisdiction where you committed the crime. And then immediately after the case, your license is given to you. If you don't have your license, any other particulars of the car, they do these things so that the driver will not fail to return. Yes, but you must give a cheat to the person. That cheat that you give to the person is what the person can take along to be able to move around until the court date or the time you have given the person.
I see. So my other worrisome question is that sometimes when you are driving through Ghana here, you see a bunch of police officers in black uniforms standing in certain corners. You know that these policemen don't have any legal operation doing. How can you identify a band of police officers who are standing at a particular place, most of the time, stopping people, taking money from people, and all that? How do you identify whether or not that police operation they are doing over there is real or is directed by the police office?
Okay, it is difficult to find more than 2-3 policemen doing unlawful duty. It's very difficult. Most of the time, it's 1 or 2 policemen who go do that. But if you see police officers in a group, in fact, it will be difficult for you to know whether they are there on lawful operation or not. But it is for you to obey, because in the old license that we have, it is written that when you see a policeman in uniform stopping you, you have to stop. You might not know why he's stopping you on the road. There might be a danger ahead. There might be a problem with your car that he has identified or something. So you need to stop. Now, you will get to know when the person is unlawfully working, because he is coming to ask you stupid questions like, why are you wearing Chalewati? Why is your, even though it's not raining, you ask you what is wrong with your wiper? I mean, so many nonsense questions. It is the way the policeman will talk that will make you know that this person is not on any lawful duty. And I want to assure drivers, look, don't be afraid. It's not about English. Look, I have not done anything wrong. If you want me to go to court, take me to court. Look, the judges are reasoning people. When you go to court and explain yourself, they will let you go. At the disgrace of the police, I'm telling you. I know some policemen lie against drivers. Some lie. Not only in drivers' issue, in even other cases. The way they write the facts, it's full of lies. But as I speak to you, if you are a driver and the police stop you, just stop. Even in this country, everywhere, we stop. You stop. And then you will listen to the person. Make a judgment from what the person is saying. That will tell you that the person is on a lawful duty or not. It's difficult to see more than 2 policemen doing unlawful duty. It's very difficult. Now, not all of them are MTT people. There are some people who are looking for arms and things. So they are from action units with guns and things. Sometimes our country is so difficult that it's porous, that people from Nigeria and others bring arms. Some of the arms, we got them in fuel tankers. Do you believe that? They put arms in bottle. The one like somebody's mouth, bottle. And then they tied it with rubber and put in fuel in the tankers. So it takes the police information to get those things. So you can't just go arresting those people with empty hand. There is a saying that some people carry pot. You think they carry water, is drink. They are already booze. So you meet some policemen with arms, task force people on the road. When they stop you, just stop. Tell them, answer the questions they give you, and you go. If they ask you money, tell them, I don't have money. They can't do you foco. They will only insult you because they are not law-abiding police officers. Those people who are law-abiding will tell you, oh, only Nyaminko.
Now, let me give you some scenario I had a few weeks ago. And the scenario is, I was going to a place around Kaswa called J. Crodria. So as I was driving, I think I missed my route, so I turned. I passed by the police officers. I came from the other way. So when I missed where I was going, I tried to go forward to find the turn that I was supposed to turn. So I passed by this police officer. They didn't stop me. So when I realized that I've gone too far, I turned again and I was heading towards the other way. And then when I got there, the police officer stopped me. So when they stopped me, and then he was like, which company car is this? And I'm like, who wants to know? I want to know which company owns this car. I'm like, this is your question, I don't understand though. Because the owner of the car actually doesn't matter to you. What actually do you want? I just want to know the owner of the car. I said, well, if that's all you want to ask me, I can't tell you who the owner is. If you have a problem, just ask me. If not, I'm leaving. Okay, let me see your license. I said, so now you are talking. Now you are talking. This is what you should have asked me first. Ask me for my driver's license first, or my insurance, or anything that was wrong. But you asked me who the car is for, which I don't think is right. I mean, there are things written on the car, you know, or you're telling me that I can't own the car I'm driving, or I look so stupid to, you know, I'm a driver of somebody that you want to ask me who my boss is or whatsoever. And let me see your driver's license. I said, officer, first of all, when you went out here, no, obi car, ni the car, and your business. So, who say, obi a car, be say ya. Catch him say, yeah, share obia. Ne car, yera, say, color pepper, say, yeah, share, ain't you know, me person you who the owner of the car. Then you have a point. But if you come and ask me who the car is for, which company is for, like you want to be friendly and ask me some unnecessary questions and waste my time, I won't give you time. So I'm walking away. So move yourself. And I told him move it. And then he moved himself and I walk away. I just drove away. You know.
So this scenario will tell you that they are not there for any lawful duty.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, the way the person will speak will let you know whether they are there for lawful duty or not. Did you know the police are not? They don't have any judicial function. We cannot punish. So we only prosecute. Even that one, it was a job given by the Attorney General to the police to help in prosecuting, which is their main job. So if we have caution, the police have the right to caution you on the road. They have the right to advise you. So if most of the times you can just tell, oh, the way you are driving, you are over speeding. It's not good. Most of the times when I was a station officer at the MTTD, I stop cars and I greet the people in the car. And I tell the driver, look, driver, look at this dangerous road. Look at the speed you are going. All these people in here, they are quiet because they are not assertive. They are afraid of you. So they can't tell you you are misbehaving. But they are breadwinners. If you go and hit them on the ground now, some children will become wayward. Then you will see the people in the car clapping. You see, the police should be friendly. There is a judge in Ghana. He's so friendly that if you go to his court, I pray that such judges grow very old. You know, they don't make the court so tense. So the same thing I practiced. And there are a lot of policemen at the MTTD who practice that. They are very good at that. They will talk to you. Even you, the passengers, will be happy that the driver is talked to. But to just ask me whose company car is this, that's the English she can speak best. Bring your license. So I'm advising our drivers, don't be afraid and don't be intimidated by the police. chat heartily with the police. If you have done something wrong and they say stop, look, I was on a vehicle from Kumasi coming. The driver was overtaking stupidly and I was at the front. The reason why I always sit at the front is to take charge of the driver. So I warned the driver on several occasions that if you don't know, next time we get to the next barrier, I'll report you. I didn't tell him I was a policeman. Then he saw another car and he was overtaking. So once overtaking, there was a car coming and the car didn't want, I think he was not an experienced driver. So he ran into the bush, a private car with the children, going to school. So I stopped the car. He wanted to run away. I said, if you run away, the next barrier, they will arrest you. Then I told him I was a police officer. Then we parked the car. We made all the cars passing all stop. Then we went and pushed that car from the bush. Then I said, you see the warning I was giving you from Kumasi. See the nonsense you have caused. Then I gave his number and everything to the car owner that report this man and let the police have his number. Let him come and repair your car for you. You see, this is what we should do. When you are a police officer, even you sit in a car, the driver is. Me, I'm not sitting there to take me free of charge. I'll pay you first before I start giving you instructions. So I think our Ghanaian drivers should be, who are listening to us on this program, should be patient and they should respect the police. And if any policeman show disrespect, they should take his number, his name on the chest, and report him to the PIPs or the PPSB. They will work on it for them. I tell you, the police is fighting decorum within the service, but it's just difficult. It's difficult.
So, assuming a police officer is misbehaving, can I ask him of his name and take his service number? And where do I go to report this policeman and make sure that he's dealt with? How would I know the policeman was dealt with?
You have to, when you report a case at the PIPs that this policeman has done this and that, they will give you a date to return. And that date, the policeman will also come and meet you face to face. And then the matter will be dealt with. That is what I was doing when I was in Ashanti region, Northern sector. That's what I was doing. If you come and make a complaint about the police that they take money from you, they insulted you, they do this, I will invite you. Let me give you this story. There was an old man who came and reported that the son was arrested, and then they gave him a false charge of possessing Indian hemp, and they took 500 Ghana cedis from him for bail. So unfortunately, the officer, the inspector I called was my mate as a recruit training, but I was a senior officer. So I invited him first, and I asked him, this is what this old man brought. Are you aware of it? He said, it's not true. I said, look, let me tell you. You're not the only policeman in Ebuakwa. If the old man comes and then prove his case, despite the fact that you are my mate, I'm not going to joke with you. Go and think about it. So I gave them a particular day for all of them to return. Do you know when they came, I didn't allow him to talk. Immediately the old man finished me. I said, where is the 500? Then he brought the money out. Then the old man said, Papa, you see, there are ways we can deal with all these matters. So if a policeman insult or misbehave towards you, and you have his number or his name, take it. Go to the PPSB, PIPs, or go to the next district. Find out the station he is. Maybe even the car they are using, you will see the station number on it. Just go there, report to their district commander. Most of the commanders will not sleep on this matter. They will deal with it.
Now, my last but one question. Why do the police harass people when they find out they have smoked weed? And we all know that this America and the UK, weed is legal. Though they can say that weed is not legal in Ghana. What would you as a police officer do if you find a roll of weed in my pocket? A roll of weed in my pocket. And I tell you I smoke it.
Okay. Weed is something that is prohibited in our country at the moment. So if you are possessing it, no matter the quantity, you have committed a crime against the laws of the state, not the police. But it should be found in your pocket, or it should be found that you are smoking it, or it should be found in your bag or something. I will tell you a case. An assemblyman brought weed to my station when I was a sergeant. and reported to me at the charge office that he found somebody smoking it, and then the person ran away. So he brought the weed to me. And I said, there's no charge I can give to that person because the man wasn't possessing. What shows that he was possessing it? So this man, I went, arrested the man, but the man said he wasn't smoking any weed. Truly, the police haven't found the weed with the person. There was no witness. This man then went to Chronicles and published me in Chronicles around 1998 or 99. That he brought the police and issued to the police that somebody was smoking weed and I didn't do it. I was dragged before the police disciplinary board, and I proved that the man was not arrested in possession of weed. The weed was rather in the possession of the assemblyman. I would have arrested that assemblyman for bringing that weed and then putting it on someone else. Later investigations proved that they were chasing the same woman, and then he wanted to incriminate the guy. Then he brought that. You see, so if you have weed in your pocket, our Ghanaian brothers should listen. It's not allowed in Ghana at the moment. Me, I want weed to be illegalized so that the regulations can be put on it so that people, because there is no way you can stop smoking of weed or the farming in Ghana. I was brought up in a village in Ghana called American Town.
So
even in the 70s when I was born, early, very 70, my uncles and my family members over there, the whole town is a weed farming town. Today, when people ask me what is my success, I tell them that I was brought up in a village where weed was planted, but I never tried to smoke it. Even I was made as a child labor on the weed farm by my uncles. So I am praying one day they will, because there are a lot of economic benefits that Ghana will derive when people are allowed to. I know some people who are listening to me will say, Papa, we are more than, but there is no way we can do away with weed in Ghana. It should rather be, they should promulgate a law to accept it, and then they will guard against it, regulate it, and so on, so that people will make economic benefit from it. It's just like the Okada.
That's right. So, Mr. ASP, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
It's a good answer you gave me, but I want to ask you, President, what if we have an instance where the president himself is a very bad weed smoker? How do we arrest him?
How do we prove that? We need to prove. I tell you, in proving a case, it is on the air everywhere that President Akufo-Addo is a weed smoker. Who have seen him smoking? Who have seen him holding it?
Mr. I didn't mention the president's name. I'm saying if the president himself.
All right. You see, that is why I'm saying that. You see, weed smoking. Many people who are weed smokers smoke is among the people who will not report them. Weed smokers smoke among themselves. So it will be difficult for somebody to say that I have seen a president smoking weed and that go and arrest him, or he's possessing it in his bag. In fact, it's not possible. Even those people who are smoking in weed, if the police don't carry a raid on them, it's difficult to see people who are smoking. Only that when you smoke weed for a very long time, your lips are very black and your eyes are red. And sometimes when you smoke weed, because it induces you, your actions will show that bubble. And there was this policeman. I was like his lawyer during a service inquiry. So I was one way or another defending him. Then at the point in time, I can see his fingers were moving. Then the mouth was dry. So when we had a break from the service inquiry, I asked him, Okutu, do you smoke? He said yes. I said, no, not cigarette. Do you smoke weed? He said yes. You see, so by his actions, behavior, I was able to see, but he was not holding weed. So how can I charge him for? You understand? Right. So if a president is a weed smoker, Charlie, we have to prove it before we can say so.
So my last question is that, you know, you have heard that some police officers, when they want to hurt you, put you in the trouble, they plant weed on you. How do you prove yourself what is the best way you can prove yourself to the court or any place they take you that you did not have it, they planted it on you? How can you defend yourself in such a thing?
It's very, very difficult. This issue you are bringing has landed a lot of people in jail innocently. But if you take a wrap of weed and put it in somebody's boot, car boot, it is for the police or the judge to think, how can a driver or a car owner, somebody in his private car, or put a roll of weed in his boot instead of securely putting it in any compartment in the front? You understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes psychologically, the lawyers and then the judges are able to help them. No, this we like look at the man who was arrested when he was being interviewed, some pastor some time ago. The police or those who went to arrest him planted a weed in his pocket, and the weed is not a wrap, a whole bundle. How can somebody be chatting with journalists and have a bundle of weed in his pocket? But that man, I don't know whether he was sent to jail or not, because we don't have a fair hearing nowadays in most of our courts. So the modus operandi or the method employed by the police sometimes give them out. And it's not a good, worthy policeman who do that. It's the hungry policemen and some of the political ones who are in the service for money. They do that. A good policeman will never do that. The 20% I've been talking about, they will never do that. And the 40%, who comes through, not party politics people, but they come through protocol. Some of them, they just want job and they came through protocol. They are not as bad as the party people. The party people who mix up with the 60%, they cause the havoc. They shoot people at Ebubu and other places or whatever, those towns, and then they go scot-free. Okay. So, my brother, I hope from next week we'll have a lot of questions to answer so that we can educate the public and also, and when I was talking to you, I think 3 days ago, a policeman asked me a question that I should address it on your platform for him.
Okay.
He said he has been put on interdiction for 4 years now as a police officer. That he has done something and he's been on interdiction for 4 years. It's in fact, I heard me yesterday, the policemen in the service don't read their own book that safeguards them. And I want to ask them to read. If they read, they will know. The Police Service Regulation 2012 CI 76 states that when a policeman commits a crime or does something that needs to be tried, his district immediate commander has the right to interdict him for 1 month. That is to investigate his action. Interdiction only means that put your job aside, stay aside, so investigation will be conducted will be done into your conduct. Okay? So if for 1 month, the officer thinks that no, we can't finish the investigation, he needs to inform the IGP, who will then make it 3 months. Now, after the 3rd month, if no case has been instituted against the person for trial, that person must be called back to start his work, to do his work. If there is any charge against the person, the trial should be done within 6 weeks. And after that, either he is reduced, he is dismissed, he is removed, or he is acquitted and discharged, or he is given some minor punishment in the service. For a police officer to be on interdiction for 4 years is unfair. It's never anywhere near the police rules and regulations. So that policeman should go to a lawyer and fight this matter.
I see. So can we treat this on Monday?
Of course, we can.
But I have my last question.
No problem.
Do you not think that there should be a standard way of investigating such allegations of drug planting in Ghana? Because one, I am thinking, one, if a police comes into my car, and when he comes into the car, searches me, maybe we have a banter or something, talk back and forth, and then he comes into my car, and he plants a weed, a roll or whatever in the car, and the police don't know how to deal with this, it's very serious, because it's a matter of the police doing this a lot. So some of the policemen doing this a lot of the time. But
yeah.
Do you not think that fingerprints could be checked? Do you don't think that we can take a drug test of the person to see whether they are a smoker or not?
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Good. So if somebody goes to jail just because a weed was planted in his car or his pocket or whatever, or it was lied on, and then he just goes to jail, it's a big problem. But I think there should be a standard, prerequisite of doing such an investigation before putting somebody to the law court. We want to check your blood and see if you're a weed smoker. Okay?
Yeah.
They don't even have to check your blood. They can even get your hair, even your common hair, and check all those things.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the police don't want to go through the expenditure to do those tests. Police hospital can do those tests to help, throw away these imprisonments that are illegal.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the police are very good at fingerprint issues and all that. And the advice we will give our drivers is that, or people who are driving in Ghana, is that whenever they are, a policeman tell them, look, I found weed in your car, hold it. They should never touch it.
Mm-hmm.
They should never touch it. And they should press upon the investigators to take the fingerprint on that roll or whatever package it is.
Mm-hmm.
This program is more or less educative. So, and they should insist that drug test is done on them. That will show whether they have ever smoked weed or there's weed in their blood.
Mm.
So our people who are listening to us should take these things very serious. This program is not only to lambast ineptitude, like useless ministers and then so on, but it's also to educate. And I think it is good that drivers should listen to this. Recently, some drivers went to curse policemen for planting weed in their car. You see, because at the end of the investigation, they do that to collect money from you. They don't do it to put you in jail. But when you refuse to give the money, then they take the matter up. And unfortunately, the investigators, as you are saying, don't do a good job. But I tell you, the police has one of the best fingerprint experts in Ghana. And I think those things should be taken seriously, so that those we call them cantankerous policemen who are doing that will be exposed. Okay, so my brother, that is about it. And I'm very grateful that these questions are coming out so that our people will learn back home that I'm not against the police. You see how I defend the police. I defend the police because not all the policemen are corrupt. Not all of them.
You are fair.
Ghana, yes. Ghana, the other day you asked me about this insult issue. I said, look, the police, nobody can just wake up and insult any other person. But whoever insults somebody must go and whoever I feel that have been insulted should go and complain to the police. If the police are not, there's no complaint. Why do you, the police, jack up and go and arrest somebody because the person has insulted somebody? In every justice system, there should be a complaint that followed by arrest and then prosecution and so on. The chain cannot be broken. So I am being very fair. The police service made me what I am, whatever I am. It is the police, what I have learned. And I tell you, all my schools I attended, apart from my O level, my A level, my everything, I did it in the police service. My teacher training college, I did it in the police service. My first degree, my second degree, I did it in the police service. So I'm proud of the police. And that's why I'm not happy the way nowadays government is forcing the political party in this thing, is forcing the police to lose its image. That is wrong. That must be corrected. The police is a noble force that is admired by the United Nations and many places. There are good policemen.
That's right.
People who hold PhD in the police service at the, what do you call it, clinical department of the police hospital, but they are not promoted even though they hold PhD. And there are policemen who have well-being, psychological problems. Their commanders don't care to refer them so that police in here not doing papa or to the ABC where you crew. What do you say? There are a lot of policemen who are going through well-being issues. A policeman sleeping in a single room with 4 children. How can he wake up one day and have a very good, a sane mind to go to work? Of course. And then you see the thief constables putting on story buildings, stealing money on the road and giving to some of their commanders who are also corrupt. I don't envy them. Me, I told my children, look, if you think I'm abroad to come and put up a bigger building than what I have, you lie. I'm going to save my money, and when I become an old man, I will enjoy. And then when your children come to me, they will know that I'm a good grandfather. I'll buy toys for them. But don't think that my house, I'll only renovate it and make it better. But I will never put a bigger building. I'll put my money in my bank and enjoy it. Again, all the engineers for money, where are we sending it? We'll die and leave it. We should be content with what we have. I attended Presbyterian school from kindergarten to training college, and I want to tell you, contentment is my motto. We should be content with what we have. That doesn't mean we shouldn't aim high.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much for.
Before ASP leaves, we are planning to have a program like this every day and very extensively, even on the weekends, if there's time, because we have a lot to catch up. I think one of these days, I will embark on a police audit and, go to a place and just challenge the police with the law and see, what they really know about the law and how their demeanor and how they are going to react to such, law challenge of certain things. And maybe I have to, report to the that area commander first, so that they know that this is what we are going to do, so that if there's anything, they understand us, because we want to let the police know that they need to actually stand on their feet, because we are going to demand an audit.
Now, the Ghanaians and your listeners too, if they have anything they don't understand about the police in Ghana, they can forward such questions to you, and we'll find a way to address it.
Exactly.
Because all of us outside, we will go to Ghana one day.
That's right.
And if our policing system is very bad, how safe are we going to be when we are there? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a good day. All right, so guys, thank you very much. We are going to do this program with ASP Franklin. He's a very educated and a very strong man. He's not Kolo. Actually, let me put it this way. He's a Kolo police officer. Why I say Kolo police officer is because he's a police officer of the old, and he kept his stuff. But he is not just any mere police officer that does things just anyhow. He's very fair. I know him very well. He's very fair. So he's a Kolo police officer in a sense that he is a real police officer of the old, trained properly, right training. You understand? And he has grown. Now, the new police officers of this era are some of them who are misbehaving. And we need to, educate them, give them morale to be able to stop these things. Also educate the public of their surroundings, how to deal with the police, things to do so that they can safeguard themselves and, do whatever they want to do. Today, if you don't remember anything, the person will kai pa and say, the police in the ba okay, no so best search your car. Kai ne who say, or can say, hey, I found we, especially when you argue with the police officer. No, can say, I found we in your pocket. So hold it. Please don't hold it. Don't touch it, because you have no way to defend yourself. You can ask for fingerprinting and also ask for a drug test of your system to see whether or not you smoke weed or you don't smoke weed. So this is something that I want you to learn today. Don't take the weed from the police officer. Avoid. Put your hands in your pocket. Don't touch it because fingerprinting will get you. Okay? So it is good. If you want to smoke weed, fine. But if you don't smoke weed, please, this is where you are going to be helped by your own self when they check you and they find out that you have not even smoked before. That would take you out of a lot of situations. You don't want to go to Sawam if you're a clean guy and you're a gentleman. You don't want to go there. So don't smoke weed if you don't really have to smoke weed. Okay? Don't smoke weed if you don't really have to smoke it. Yes, I have passed drug test upon drug test, hair upon hair, blood draw, urinal, whatever. It has never been my issue. Smoking has never been my issue because we don't smoke in our family. Well, some people smoke, but I didn't see my father smoking when he was growing up or when I saw him. Neither my mother smoking. Yeah, my mother sometimes took a club beer. Sometimes really, just one, just to chill out. You know, my father don't drink. Yes, but my mom takes a beer, a bottle of beer, just one, once every while. Okay, so all these things are going to help you. Decency is going to help you. Your hair, the way you do yourself, how you dress. Police look at all those things. So you have to be very careful the way you behave. In America, police don't care how your hair is. They can suspect you, but they don't have a right to, how do you call it, detain you if they don't have any crime that has been committed. And again, before a police officer in America can search a vehicle, they must have something they call a search warrant. The search warrant is what will allow the police to search your vehicle, your premises, your house, your pocket, and everything. You can stop the police from searching your vehicle if they don't have any search warrants over you. In this way, even if they find 100 kilos of weed in your glove compartment, if they don't have a search warrant, there's a law they call probable cause in America. Probable cause. If you don't have a search warrant and you go searching the vehicle of somebody and you find, 10,000 pounds of weed in their car, when they go to court, it's going to be called probable cause. All the case is going to be thrown away because they need to seek for a search warrant before they search anybody. Anybody. So now this is what the police do in America. They will ask you, do you have any sharp objects in your pocket? And you say no, they can pat you up or not pat you up just to say they are protecting themselves from an attack. So by so doing, if they find something, then that's a different thing. Don't carry a knife if you don't really need it. Don't carry a gun if you don't really necessarily need it. Be very careful, because one day you meet a policeman who is a charlatan or who doesn't care and can behave anyway, anyhow, just to put you in prison. So be careful and don't argue with the police if you don't have the grounds. Thank you very much and God bless you. This is where you're going to be. So please, you can channel all your questions of police matters, police bullying, anything that you want to know to this number 020, I think it's 1772417. That is the number. You can send an audio or a text message to this number. Ask anything. It is going to be treated each day. So if you send it to me on Sunday or maybe let's say, Sunday evening, we're going to talk about it on Monday evening during my program. If you send it on Tuesday, we're going to do the same thing. So send all your questions to the WhatsApp line 020 1772417. It's going to be a part of our segment. So send your stuff. We will mention your name. Tell us, I went through this and this happened and this happened. What should I do? And ASP Franklin is going to help us solve the problem, and we're going to see how best we can do this. Thank you very much, and God bless you. And trust me, this is part of our segment. You will love it, and we're going to go far. Thank you very much. God bless you. Kamitela, have a very blessed night, you and the family. And everybody else that is watching me, have a very blessed night. We have to educate ourselves. So this segment is going to be called Police Right, Public Right. Police Right, Public Right. Public Right, Police Right. This is the name of the segment of this our show. So bring in your issues with the police. Let's discuss it. Let's give you the best advice. And God bless you. And if you can get lawyers, we will get lawyers if we have to. Hopefully, it's not the easy task, but we'll see. Maybe you can get some pro bono lawyers who can help us. Thank you, and God bless you so much.